Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. So I've sped up the time a little bit, so now it's January 1943, and what has recently happened was that I mainly did it so that I could provide some convoys. I figured I wouldn't need naval assets right away, so I'm keeping hold of that for now. And what I've essentially done inside the Middle East here is that I've created this border between our country over here and the British troops. So this gap is finally sealed. Our troops are getting a little bit more supply now because I've built those convoys, but it's still not perfect. I'm going to kind of see if there's any resources down here that might be valuable, and it doesn't look like there is anything. Is there anything even worth taking inside Saudi Arabia? I know they have oil. Yeah, they have a couple pockets of oil here. The other thing is that the Japanese and the Persians are kind of holding off the British inside Persia. And the most noticeable thing is that the forces over here of Britain and the United States are making a few naval invasions. The odd thing about this particular place is that for some reason supply doesn't get through to our troops when we're on Portuguese soil. As soon as we're away from it, it looks like things are alright, but I don't know why supplies don't flow there. And the Brazilians actually have a surprisingly formidable force over here. So that's kind of cool. What I think I'll do is that I'll actually give first or second army to the German forces and just kind of let them automate that front. Or actually, I think I'll form up a new corps, a new army, because I can do that. So let's do that right now. I'm going to form up an entirely new army, and I'll pretty much assign them to the Axis commander, which is Germany in our case. So there you go, there's a new army. Now I'm just going to stockpile them with the troops and pretty much just let the Germans take command of them. What that'll do is that it keeps the troops from pretty much doing their own thing. So we'll just kind of let the troops here, these are all infantry as they are. So these troops right here, they're at base experience right now. They'll gain experience as time goes on, and pretty much it'll just be with the Germans. So that's my plan for that. As for supply here on this front, it's a little worrisome because for some reason we just can't simply reach this pocket of American and Brazilian troops. We can fight the war up here, but it looks like they are mainly they're kind of handled. So hopefully if we give control of an army to Germany, they'll be able to handle this problem. But the AI right now, it's just kind of bouncing back and forth between here and Yugoslavia, where it's handling some of these revolts that are backed up by the USA. And we have 3 more units, which I think I'll be putting into 20th Corps. Needs some troops. That's probably why. But I think I'll make this separate little group, and they will be trying to help out with the situation over here, which is to try and control that area. What else? Okay, so the first mountain corps is ready. I have some mountain troops ready over here. They shouldn't be going there. So they're pretty much just going to be holding right around here. These mountain troops are going to hopefully support us in an assault into Iraq and taking the ports in Kuwait and the coastline ports, really. But as of now, the main thing is to just try to control this area. It'd be rather nice if we could break through and go into the into the heartland around London and just pretty much take all of this over. That would be nice, as that would seriously impact the Americans' influence into the war, because they do need some place to resupply and pretty much stock up their ships, and Britain is that place. Why are our troops constantly running out of supply? We're not being interdicted from the air, and nothing's really happening, but for some reason, like, no supply is reaching us. It looks like it's just traveling with the forces um, of the Hungarian forces, and it's just constantly going back and forth. But so long as they're here, they should be able to handle this front. And we've officially ran out of rare materials, but it should be fine, because right now we're getting some lend-lease, which is a new production system they put into place. So we're getting 47 to 48 units from Germany and from Japan, so that's pretty nice. That'll help us out by quite a bit. What can we do over here? If I give command to Supreme Command Africa, and I'll put them to pretty much make a few offensive plays, I want them to keep these 3 cities safe. I want them to keep the border pretty much intact, and I want them to push into this region right here. So that'll be the objectives for Supreme Command Africa, and they'll pretty much handle everything by themselves. Since we've completely isolated the British troops inside the south here, they have 0 organization right now. They have no supply results, and no organization, so they'll pretty much be pushovers. Now that our troops are finally supplied, I just want to take this port, and then immediately after we take the port, the United States' troops, or Brazilian United States troops, will pretty much have no way to resupply themselves. We shouldn't be researching this. In hindsight, it probably wasn't a good idea getting the militia tech. I thought it led to the motorized infantry, because I kind of just read this tooltip right here, and it kind of said small arms, weapons, support weapons, infantry. So we're going to put those points into building a few more things, notably armored cars, which is one thing that I've kind of neglected, and we do need that. We don't need that many ship techs. Some heavy cruiser would be nice though, so we're gonna get that. Later on, we do need to develop a bigger navy, so that we can go into the United States and places like such. I'm gonna max that out for now, and build some more supplies. There we go. That should be good. And we're still researching a lot of tech. We're fairly decent on the research front of things. It's more or less just taking these tiles right here. As long as we can win this fight for this tile, for the port of Porto, we should be fine. Let's do something like that. So we're gonna try to march into this tile. And what has happened? Okay, so the Yugoslavian nationalists have risen up. Once again, the United States, because they have an IC of like 700 or something now, they're going to be doing a lot of like espionage things, building a lot of stuff like that. So they're trying to kind of weaken our hold on Yugoslavia. That's kind of why these American militia units are appearing. I know it's rather odd. We've run out of supply again. I don't know why this keeps on happening. It's like we run out of supply here, and then they come back, they push the people back even more, and then they just kind of leave. So the AI is rather deadlocked right now. I'm not really sure why it's doing that. I think it values the troops here a little bit more, I guess. And our troops should be dealing with all of this, so they should be handling that. How's Africa looking? Africa's looking fine and dandy, I guess. Alright, well at least we have control of this port, and that's what I'm probably going to move all of my troops into. Just controlling the ports are critical, seeing as those troops are going to need a lot of supply, and they only have a 30-day reserve of supply, so eventually they will run out pretty much by default, right? So that shouldn't be that much of an issue. As soon as the pockets of resistance are taken down here, the army will kind of come back here and help out. Now as for our troops here, we still have that army and they're ready to go. So I'm actually going to get on started with that and give the German forces command of the 3rd Army. So 16 divisions will go to them. Did they refuse? It's rather odd, they refused command of the 3rd Army, so they're not going to take it. That might be a little problematic because they're kind of short on people. As for here, I know the Americans have paratroopers, which would lead me to believe that they have the forces that the transport planes, that's what they're called, that are needed for use of paratroopers. So they could supply their troops by air, by just kind of dropping them down. So that might be an issue over there. What I think I'll do is that I'll build some armored units. So armor, we'll go with light armor. Actually, light armor is the one that we have that's way better. So 3 units of light armor, and then 1 unit of or 2 units of light armor, and 1 2-tick destroyer units. No, that won't work either. I guess it'll just be armored cars. So then we'll build 5 of them. We'll build 3 cores, so we'll do it like that, and then we can put some of the supply demand to this. So there we go. I think that'll be pretty good. As long as our research goes at this pace, we should be able to just continue on fighting this war. Should be perfectly fine, seeing as we're getting all of that lend-lease I see from the Japanese and Germany. As long as we keep on building convoys, we have quite a lot in stock right now. As you can see, most of our supply routes are green. As we keep building them, I don't really care if they keep on getting destroyed, because as long as, well, we keep making them, right, there's nothing they can really do about it to stop us. Why do I have 1 corps of infantry here? I could have sworn they were doing something better. Let's get 15th Corps to go on attack and grab the 2 ports there. It's very critical to get that port control. Ooh, that's going to be quite a lot of losses for the British inside the North African front, and that's actually going to take them out of the conflict pretty much. Then we can sweep down here, and then hopefully we can we could push into India and provinces like that, but that would open up a huge front for the Soviet Union. It looks like that's actually changed by the inclusion of this province, so that might be actually perfectly fine for us. It's 1943, so there's a risk that the Soviet Union will attack the German forces, and that will probably be the biggest threat right now. Give this place a few more days, and the United States' reserve will be pretty much crushed. Like, actually, I'll launch a small offensive right now, turn down the speed, so then as soon as that starts, we can kind of see, yep, their units are at 0 supply, so that means that we're at 0 organization, so that means that they've either fought a battle very soon, and they lost the battle, or they are completely out of supply. So right now, out of those two options, I'd say that they're out of supply. What we can do about that is we can just kind of launch attacks like this with very few troops, and we'll be able to destroy all of those units. And over here, the AI panic, I think, will kind of sort the situation out. I'm actually going to get Third Army, this entire army, to help out on the front over there. If the AI really wants to bounce their troops back and forth from these two locations, I know that inside this game the Soviet Union's AI will pretty much start a war as soon as the borders are kind of opened up. So hopefully the troops that I'm sending over there will help them out by a little bit. That pocket of resistance will be crushed, and then they're going to go back to secure that port. And I believe that's that. I'm not so worried about developments on the coast, like right here. As long as we control the strait here, I think they won't be able to get through. They're just mopping up the troops over here. That should be completely out of supply as well. And then they'll push into that general area. So that'll be pretty good. Where are our mountain forces? Mountain forces are right here. I'm going to deploy them over here. I tried giving the Ottoman Empire some reinforcements in the form of like these expeditionary forces, and just pretty much seeing what would happen. I might ultimately assign all of our mountain troops to them, just so that they can kind of manage this front here. There we go. So now the American forces on this coast are completely destroyed. I'm going to keep some troops here just so that we maintain like a border presence. Here, I believe all of these troops will handle it, but this is just going back and forth. The Axis forces are just bouncing from here to Yugoslavia, and they just kind of keep doing that, which is very, very odd. And it looks like North Africa's finally finished. You can tell that the game is starting to lag a little bit, yeah, so something's moving a lot of units. I presume that's because the Soviet Union is trying to gear up for war. And that's kind of causing what's causing all of that frame rate loss. Well, that was pretty easy. We took 3 brigades for pretty much nothing. So that's very good. June 1943. Okay. Okay. The issue here is that we need to go into the Soviet Union sooner or later. So I'm thinking of doing that in 1944 right now, and then we'll switch gears. We might be able to take Britain over before then. We could produce some like transports to just kind of do that right now. The British Home Guard isn't as strong as the British troops that are currently present over here. They don't really have that much IC when compared to some of the other countries. They obviously can't really compare with the Americans. So that's an option we could go, we could pursue. Yikes, that's a lot of units from the United States. What we can do to kind of alleviate that problem is we can port block them with our troops. It's kind of weird, but if we for commission, actually with this fleet right here, I have quite a lot of these transport ships. So if I fill this troop up with our troops from central Italy, we could probably invade the British islands right now and hopefully take some of these ports. Like, I'm thinking of rolling them up from Plymouth, because this is the only port that's relatively close by without any urban terrain being present, so we can kind of roll up, go into London, and then kind of push up there. So the difficult part in that is that we're going to have to make a decision to either pull back the troops from here, pull back the Italian troops that are garrisoning the German border from Russia, or to use some of the mountain troops that we have in possession. I think what I'm going to do is just detach 2 of these corps, create 4th Army, and 4th Army will be pretty much the spearhead into the London, England area. So let's do that. Let's prep them so that they'll be ready within about a month. I have a feeling this is just going to go back and forth unless we kind of stop the problem, which would be going on to the USA directly. We're taking out the United Kingdom. So the better of the two, in my opinion, would be to go after the United Kingdom right now. So what I'm going to do is conduct that offensive right now. I'm going to load all of these troops up on this boat right here. Send them to invade... nope. I think we're going to have to move them closer to the front first, yeah. So we're going to move them to one of the German ports. Let them get a bit of supply from here. Load the troops back up. And move them into that tower right there. So I'll load all of these troops. There we go. Get our navy back into place. Let them weather out this attack for now, and then attack Plymouth in force. So we're gonna kind of bounce around like that, and that's going to allow us to hopefully take that. There we go. So now we've established one port here. Supply throughput should be getting through by now. If not, I'm going to have to do something about that. But this was originally a British supply dump. I would assume that it was. So yeah, supply now goes in. Okay, good. Should I maybe save right now? I could do that. I'll rebase my transport fleet once again, so they'll go back. How's North Africa looking? North Africa is looking pretty well. It's the Middle East now, I guess. It's not even North Africa, but it looks like we've won that front. Over here, I think the AI will handle everything for us, but it's just going to be that panicking of troops back and forth, back and forth. We're kind of running low on manpower, so I can't really just build troops to support the troops that the Hungarian British troops. So that's going to be quite a problem. And yeah, it looks like this Soviet Union is going to go to war, and we're going to go to that defensive stance. So we're going to allow our troops to defend all of this border territory, and it looks like I've got to run. So I'll see you guys later on. Bye bye. Like the video and subscribe for more. Next time we'll be finishing off the United Kingdom and then moving into the Soviet Union. Until then, I guess.